Good morning or good afternoon. My name is Fanny Howland. I'm a researcher in the Alliance Bioversity CIAT, and today I'm going to present work that have been developed in collaboration with Mariola Acosta, Juliana Muriel, and Jean-François Lecoq. It is called Barrier and Solution to Gender Integration in Agriculture, Climate Change, Food Security and Nutrition Policies, Guatemalan and Honduran Perspective. So first, I will start with a short context and introduction. So to achieving effective gender mainstreaming in the design, implementation, monitoring and evaluation of policies have been considered by academics and international organizations as critical to meeting national development goals. So first, I would like to share why it is relevant to consider gender in the topic of agriculture, food security and nutrition, and climate change. So why is it relevant to consider gender in agriculture? So first, agriculture is the most important source of employment for women in rural areas in most of the developing countries. Besides, women have generally less access to resources in terms of assets, inputs, land, education, financial services, technology, and decent employment opportunities. And also because gender inequalities have a direct effect on aspects such as agricultural productivity. Indeed, gender productivity gap can vary between 4 and 25%. So now why it is relevant to consider gender in food security and nutrition studies. So first, because women play an important role in the three pillars of food security and nutrition, that is to say, in food availability, in food access, and food use. So women play a key role in those pillars, but women are also highly affected by food insecurity and malnutrition. And finally, why it is relevant to consider gender in climate change issues. So climate change is expected to aggravate social discrimination, worsening people's situation in general, and of women in particular. So because of the gender gaps that remain in the agricultural sector. So climate change could thus undermine the progress made in terms of gender equality. So there is thus an opportunity at the same time to design interventions that are better targeted to the need of rural women and men and potentially overcoming barriers to implementation. So to conclude on this first slide, gender and development literature emphasize the importance of considering the nexus between gender, agriculture, food security and nutrition, and climate change, not only to reduce gender inequalities, but also to address climate change and food security and nutrition and agricultural development issues. So in this context, the Beijing Platform for Action is a key event because it promotes women's active participation in all spheres of public and private life. It's also a symbol and turning point for the promotion of gender mainstreaming in policies. And it has been widely adopted by governments of all the world that, as a consequence, elaborated national gender policy and have created governmental gender entities. However, gender mainstreaming has been disappointing. So we wonder in that context, what are the main barriers to and solutions for gender integration in policies and intervention tackling food insecurity and nutrition, climate change and agricultural, and Guatemala and Honduras. So the conceptual framework and method for this study is based on three concepts. Policy integration, policy mix, and policy translation. And our scope have been the two case studies of Honduras and Guatemala. So for our method, we first made an inventory of the main policy and regulatory documents, such as laws, frameworks, strategy, plans, and policy related to each of the policy domains considered in our policy mix, that is to say agriculture, climate change, and disaster risk management and environment, food security, and gender. We also conducted semi-structured interview at national level with key informants such as governmental officials, international cooperation representatives, and civil society members. And we also conducted narrative and policy document analysis on barriers and solutions to gender mainstreaming in policies. So now I will present the main result of this work. So, and I will first start with the barriers, to present the barriers to gender integration. So despite multiple international commitments on gender issues, having gender label policy and governmental gender bodies, gender mainstreaming in the policy cycle is lagging in Honduras and Guatemala. So the main, so multiple barriers of a different nature and at different level have been identified by key informants. So first at policy translation from the international level. So there is no real interest of governments to advance gender mainstreaming. And the progress is a result of international pressure than real interest. And at another level, at the structural policy barriers at national level, we identify, or informant identifies that there is a gap between policy development or policy design and policy implementation. Also, the development model pursued by governments harms peasants while favoring multinational and landowners. Public policy do not seek transformative change to address the challenges of the effect of climate change and food security and nutrition, but rather serve private interest. There is also a weak gender institution and the issue of gender as a cross-cutting issue that nobody appropriate really. And finally, women are not recognized in the agricultural sector. Their role in agriculture is not recognized and therefore not included in agricultural development programs. At a different level, there is a lack of knowledge and capacity, a problem of awareness and training on gender. And in the case of climate change, the lack of gender inclusion is due also to the technical approach given to the issue, ignoring its social aspects. Finally, there is a barrier related to behavior and corruption. So state corruption, patriarchal culture, and lack of interest on the part of politicians constitute limitation for gender mainstreaming. So to discuss this result, we identify a high level of discouragement and feeling of powerlessness of key informants on the gender situation. The key role of the international cooperation for funding gender action, which were otherwise unbudgeted through national mechanisms. The importance to consider the nature of relationship, purely technical and or political, between the governments and the international cooperation actor to understand the level of gender integration in policy. Although gender is integrated in sectorial and national policy, it is not sufficient to observe change in bridging the gender gaps. So now I will present the main result related to the solution. What are the solutions to improve gender integration in policies? So we identify different solutions in Guatemala and Honduras. So first, in Guatemala, so the key informants shared that there were, according to them, there were no short-term solution, and that change will be difficult and long to achieve. They also identify the need to produce evidence on gender for policy change, like to be able to lead evidence-based advocacy. Also, another solution is the implementation of training, sensitization, education at institutional and population level, and the development of state policies. In Honduras, the key informants share other type of solution. They share the importance of strengthening the legal frameworks that protect women and or to enforce the laws that already exist. Also to improve the design of programs to include women and or to see the impact on women. Also to improve the financial support to civil society and to gender units. And finally, to lead training, sensitization, and education at institutional and population level. So to discuss this result, we found in the literature solution and recommendation that are to promote and to improve gender integration in policy, which are similar to what we found in the what were shared by key informants, such as participatory mechanism and multi-stakeholder collaboration during the policy-making process, capacity building, the importance of that objective go beyond improving women's participation, law enforcement, more research on gender, to improve policy implementation through decentralization, and to improve gender-sensitive M&E. So as a conclusion, we identify that gender integration is occurring through the overarching administration and sectorial dedicated units, the gender units, for instance, and the inclusion of the gender issue in policy documents. However, remain obstacles to gender mainstreaming. There is the international influence translates into national policy design, behavioral and corruption-related issues, and knowledge and capacity level of civil servants. We also identify a solution to overcome the barrier identified, such as research, capacity building, and sensitization on gender issue, financial support. So we hope this work will help the reflection on how to build enabling policy environment to achieve gender inclusion in all policy cycle. And as opening question, we were asking what is the role of research for development organization, as well as the wider international cooperation in addressing those barriers, and how to address complex barriers of structural racism and machismo, religious extremism, power group, and censorship of civil society from science and or other modes of action. And with this slide, I finish my presentation. Thank you very much. And yeah, I'm available for question if there is. Thank you very much.